And hello, my fellow nerds. It's the Oracle Nerd here, and welcome to a game called Ducky. This is another game that was I'm fairly certain it was created by the same people who created My Sweet Fairy, and Criminally Yours. At least I'm certain that it is. Yeah, yeah. See this. Yeah, see, creative director is Joy and Great and Writes. Yeah, so this was created by Flowers for Joy. She was a writer as well. And honestly, I'm very excited to play this game because they actually released this quite a while ago. Actually, I downloaded it as soon as it released, but I never got to playing it because I was playing other games on my channel. but but I wanted to get into playing this now because it seemed very interesting and I really want to play it. So let's just go ahead and start. Okay, springtime. Wait, what? Wait, I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but my mouse icon looks really weird. Yeah, my cursor is just a hand pointing now. That's funny. Here, here in Willow Post, you grow up slow. Everything is nurtured and forested in proper times, almost like we're more trees than living creatures. I never thought much of what made fairies different from anyone else. On the surface, there isn't much outside of the general aesthetics. Everything is much bigger, of course, but it's also fast. Humans grow up fast. Oh, okay, so it's another fae story. Sure, I'll go with it. From one fairy tale to another, literally. I've been going on my group forage with some friends when it happened. The loud, unmistakable whoosh of an arrow. The strawberry I collected for breakfast fell at my feet. I stood watching it roll away instead of thinking about how I was going to miss out on covering three meals instead of two. My whole attention was on the arrow instead. Not in so many words, mind you. Jesus, okay, you're a giant compared to these girls. I stood I stood staring at the arrow lodged into a nearby tree. I heard the rustle of bushes, and a human figure, appeared, ripping it out in one clean motion. Humans are big, but he's the biggest I'd seen up until this point. In all fairness, I saw very few humans in my life, and when I did, they were often far away. More often, I saw humans depicted in paintings and graphic novels. My own father did business with them outside of town. Nothing like business could take place here at Willow Post, of course. It was too big a concept for us. We watched shaking equal parts fearful and delighted. What's a human doing all the way out here? She was sounding more thrilled than scared. Foraging, probably. Hopefully. Whereas Violet just sounded scared. Do humans even do that? Violet threw a look at her sister incredulously. Of course, they forged dumb nut. They forged dumb nut. Did you not pay attention in school? I thought they only hunted. I thought they only hunted. Humans are carnivorous. No, they are. Nee shook my shoulder, urging me to engage, but my eyes kept finding their way back to the human. Tell her whatever your name is now. I ignored her, continuing to watch as a carnivorous human dropped to a knee, picked the berry up, and wiped it across his shirt and ate it. So are strawberries meat now? Shut up, V. I gave them both a stern look. You you'd learn a lot more if you just watch instead of talking. Then as I turned my attention away from the bickering, my blood turned ice cold when I caught eyes with a human for the first time. There was a brief squawk from my two sisters as they dashed further into the bushes. I didn't make a move, my legs frozen in place. Like before, I wasn't thinking much, outside of how strangely kind his eyes were. I suppose even the eye of a wolf attracted both comfort and fear. Though it was more than likely if someone were to meet a wolf's eye, they were as good as dead. Was this yours? I didn't hear anything. My hands shot up to cover my ears, my eyes shut for a moment. My apologies. Was this your strawberry, little fairy? He approached very little, but enough that I could notice the scar on his lip now. I wasn't sure if I should speak up, if I could even be heard if I tried. I was the size of his head. Oh, wait, so canonically she's like literally the size of his head. Okay, that's interesting. Wait, is that like counting the wings in antennae or no? That didn't stop me from answering, however. Oh, yes. Yes, it was. It was my strawberry, but you can have it. Of course he could. He was currently digesting half of it. The berry was big enough for even a human to have take 2 bites, which might have fed me for 4 days. I found myself thinking of all things. That's very generous of you. Now that I could hear properly, his voice is soothing. Despite the raspiness, perhaps accentuated by him lowering his tone. Let me get let me get you a replacement. I know this I know this would go much further for you than it does for me. Did I scare you away your sisters? Friends? I look over my shoulder. Needy and Violet were long gone. I debated whether I should have taken the time to make a run for it, but like the dumb nut I am, I didn't. Violet and Needy, my friends, who are sisters. I managed to squeak out. He nodded in acknowledgement, thinking over what he should say. What's your name? It was a simple enough question. At least it would be anyone who wasn't me. That was something I'd wondered about myself. All I knew was that my old one didn't suit me. Like a sweater I'd gotten that shrunk too small and, or rather, grew itchier the longer I wore it. I'm looking for one. His eyes widened. They were the color of coffee beans. Looking for one? Yes, I don't care for my old one much anymore. If I may ask, how come? I was surprised he hadn't asked what my old name was. Most people did that. Why change? I changed it. That was a much better question. Itchy. My, the words left my mouth before I processed them. He chuckled. Then I tried again. It feels wrong. Turns out I didn't have a proper word for it. Well, that leaves us a bit more of an impasse. I had to call you something. Is less itchy or wrong? I nodded. He brings a finger to his upper lip and thought. Ah, we have a pet name used back home. Well, a term of endearment is just for our pets, rather our friends and lovers. Duck is what we call those who are not quite man or woman. Will Duck suit you for right now? Duck. You. You can call me that. He smiles, wrinkling all of his features, just a little. What's your name? My name is Gerrit, Duck. How did you pick your name? I didn't. My parents did. Confusion coats his words. Do fairies name themselves? I wish. No, we're the same. My parents named me, but I'm leaving, so I'd like to choose a new name. Maybe Ducky is more fitting. It's cuter. I didn't know why my previous name sat so ill with me, but I knew I liked being cute, and my old name was anything but. His eyebrows raised, pursing his lips. It is much cuter. Definitely suits you. A nice sensation ran through my body when he said it. It might not be the name I'd go with forever, but it was certainly the closest I'd gone so far. Thank you. He gave me a gentle smile, despite looking like from a war. He'd returned from a war. It was comforting. So you're leaving, you said. Yes, I'm going to Sparris. I'm buying an apartment. He guffawed, shielding his mouth with his hand for a moment, swallowing it, compose himself. It's not the first time I received this reaction, though he recovered much quicker than my neighbors or friends or parents had. That was for sure. You'll have to excuse me. I've never heard such a thing at all. I've been around fairies in other parts of Illyria, but that's that's a first, little duck. I nod knowingly. It's okay. I'm aware it's odd that odd. Well, there's nothing wrong with being unique. I'm simply curious about you. Something about the way he said it made my heart do a little backflip. I didn't know that was even possible. I want to leave this place, see the world before settling into an apartment. Only thing is, I found out they don't sell them to fairies, you see. I'm sure they don't, though I don't see the harm. Do you plan to move your family in, or? Absolutely not. No. He breathed out a laugh. So, no kids or a partner then? I shake my head vigorously. No. Are you against having company? No, I'd like to have guests over to visit. That'd be nice. Host little parties. But I like to be alone, have space for all my things. That doesn't sound too odd. I know quite a few people like that. I'm sure you do, but not fairies. That's true. This is a first for fairies. Though admittedly, I haven't met every fairy. My mother says it's pointless, that I'm loony even. I catch myself saying, now ranting to a complete and total stranger, but he had just he just had the air of someone who could speak you could speak to without much reserve. That, or I was a chatterbox who couldn't help myself. This was far more likely. All mothers think their children are crazy for doing what hasn't been proven to work. Right? Like, surely I can find out if it's pointless or not on my own, but if humans do it, why can't we? Well, outside renters' rights, I suppose there's no reason it can't. It's difficult, but it's not impossible. People tend to confuse the two. But truth is, if you want something badly enough, it'll be yours. That was just what I needed to hear. No fairy had ever said something quite so wise. Gerrit? Hmm? Do you have an apartment? No, I don't have a home if I'm honest. I'm a member of the Dread Guard. I'm a monster hunter. I travel for my work, so only inns and taverns for me. You ever you ever hear that it's bad luck for a member of Dreadguard to stay in one place for too long? I hadn't actually. I shook my head. Do you want a home? Not especially, no. I hate to stay in one place for too long. Feels itchy, wrong. I couldn't help but smile as he parroted what I said before back to me. We shared a small laugh for a small moment. A monster hunter. So you don't have any children or a partner either? He gave me a coy smile. I was delighted he picked up on what I was asking with a little effort. It left me feeling tingly at the edges of my fingers and toes, like we were speaking a language only the two of us understood. I've sown my wild oats in my youth, but no, just me. Not entirely sure what he meant. Just like the bad luck quote before. Could human farmers not have a wife and children? It mattered little how much sense it made. I found everything he said utterly captivating. Do you happen to know how I could go about getting an apartment, even though I'm a fairy? That's certainly an obstacle. You'd probably have to be human, unfortunately, or at least have human purchase it on your behalf. It's not it's it's not even according to for the travel itself. Accounting for the travel itself. You're at the border of a Jackler Red in Hampton, so the journey to Sparris would take you on foot. Wait, Jackler Red? Wait. Okay, wait, hold on. Why does it sound familiar? Like that sounds so familiar. Jackler Red? Wait, no, don't tell me. Does this take place in the same universe as Rectifier? Feel like this. There's no way, cause the only place I heard about Jackler Red is in Rectifier, I'm pretty sure New Hampton was in the story too, but I don't remember. Dude, if this is in the same universe as that, I am going to be. I actually think will that'd be really awesome. Like, like honestly, I can kind of imagine Gerrit meeting up with the other folks, the main cast of Rectifier. I kind of forgot what their name. I know one of them was named Lior. See, Lior, Percy. Damn, I can't remember who else. I know one of them was like a dog person. It's been so long since I played that game. Hmm. Anyways, human foot that is could be twice as long for a fairy. When your things, well, actually, that's probably the least of your troubles. I felt my entire body deflate more and more with every word he said. His voice lowered, eyes saddening. Ducky, I don't intend to discourage you. I just want you to be aware of what you're signing up for. I know. I knew all those things before. Just hearing a human saying it makes it a little more real. I thought maybe my friends and family were trying to discourage me. They may be just looking out for you. It can be supremely dangerous if you don't know where you're going. A cute thing like you'd be snatched up by a beast or vagabond in no time flat. I chewed at my lip, feeling all my dreams crumble around me. So much so that not even his compliments could alleviate the ache. Maybe if I were a human, things would be different. If I were someone like Gerrit who traveled there on their own, his life sounded like magic to me. Before I forget, let me replace that strawberry for you. I could tell it was his attempt to cheer me up. Wait, it came out a little louder than I intended, but the thought of letting the topic die here didn't sit right with me. There had to be a way. No one else would give me the answers I sought. Garrett would give me a straight answer. There was nothing to lose for him. You're right. I wouldn't stand a chance out there. I don't even know anything about human lands. Maybe if I had an escort, I could. Garrett mulls it over for a moment, really thinking about it before responding. He nods once. That's a clever idea. It could work. You'd certainly have to pay a good coin for that kind of service, though. I nodded, thinking over what I had. If I didn't have it now, I could at least earn the money in the next year or so. But you're just so pretty, they might do it for free. He gave me another compliment and a smile that left my head spinning a little. This time, it did make me feel a little better. I stood staring at him for a moment. Then his eyebrows scrunched as he began to reconsider something. Is my calling you pretty wrong? I shake my head. No, it felt all too right, actually. So much so I hadn't even noticed. So you'd do it? You'd escort me? His eyes widened again, hesitating now. Oh no. You're certainly fine company, Ducky. I'm just not suited for the task. I remember my grandmother left me some of her things, an inheritance. Maybe it would be enough. I can pay you, if not if not all at once in installments. It's not about the coin. I'm sorry. I wish I could. I'm sure someone will be willing to do it. You most certainly cannot go alone, though, and make sure whoever you do choose to escort you is an honest person. He stopped again, thinking, clearly not liking any of the thoughts that came from him. At least not for another minute. Maybe you can ask a friend of mine for you. I can ask a friend of mine for you. I'm in town for a couple more days. He's supposed to be making his way here tonight. That was a fair compromise. I was admittedly nervous at the idea of traveling with a stranger, or at least someone I knew, even less than I knew Gerrit, but beggars can't be choosers. You'd do that for me? What would that cover the cost of of me eating the strawberry. More than enough. Then you got a deal. Gerrit extended his hand. I'd seen the gesture before, but in vague memory, I couldn't recall how to return it. I wrapped my arms around his thumb. His hands twitched, freezing, cluing me to the fact that I definitely done it wrong. But despite that, he wrapped the rest of his fingers around me quite easily. I, I knew it must have felt silly, but I committed. He gave me a light tap on the back. At least he was kind enough not to draw any attention to my error. Before I could break away from his strange style of handshake, I heard Violet and Needy burst through the bushes. Now you let our friend go, human. I look at the shaking twig in her hand. Needy holds another twig from behind her sister. I break away from Gerrit's grasp with little effort. When I turn to look at him, his arms are up in surrender, paired with an amused smile. So, this is Needy and Violet? Yes, guessing who was who correctly somehow. Horror fills both their expressions. He's a friend, girls. Really? That's good. We need to get help. We went to get help. But it was so far away we couldn't leave you, so we had to come back. Also, we got lost. She tacks on bashfully. I couldn't help but laugh. If I were in actual danger, I couldn't count on them for anything other than to remember me. It's okay, at least they'd run at the first sight of trouble, unlike me who'd have been ripe for the picking. I appreciate you both, but I'm more than okay. Thank the angels. Now we can eat that pie Miss Marigold made. We'll have to gather more strawberries though first. If you need help, I'd be happy to. Could you speak to our friend first? In the meantime, I can get my payment. Very well. Do you want to meet me back here in an hour or so? I nodded with a little with a little bow he started to take his leave. Nice meeting you two. He stopped for a moment, looking at me. Until we meet again, Ducky. Until we meet again. I say despite it not being something I normally say. I attempted to gather myself, hoping the heat in my face wasn't visible. When I turned to look at them, they were both waving him off, both shell-shocked. It was a rare moment of silence and stillness as we watched him leave. As I expected, the two burst into a fit. What was that? Her voice dripping with curiosity. I I have expected Violet to retort with a sarcastic comment, but even she couldn't recover that quickly. He's staying in town for a little while. His name's Gerrit. He's a monster hunter. Oh my angels, of course you make friends with a beast. Hey now, he's not a beast. He was a perfect gentleman. He's cute. Cute? Kittens are cute. That man could crush us. Better yet, he could crush a bear. Needy and I can't suppress our smiles. Whether he could or crush us or not didn't change the fact that he was pleasant to look at. You're lucky he didn't eat you. That leaves us in a fit of giggles. Whether or not he'd eat us is also a little concern. I don't know why I even came back for you. Next time, you're on your own. You already left me once. I thought you were right behind us. You should have been. So, wait, he said he was going to meet you here? For what? He's gonna get someone to escort me to Sparris. Are you serious? I nod. Oh, I always have bet about this. She cycles through a couple of emotions before abandoning them all. Your mom's gonna flip. When doesn't she? I could break a nail and she'd call a healer. She may have a point this time. You've lost it. I haven't lost it, I answered playfully. I could tell she wants to dispute, but couldn't bring herself to do it. Violet says the same words as my mother, but I know she'd never enforced them in the same manner. Violet, like Gerrit, was willing to tell me the hard things, but not as a way to discourage, but in a way to protect me. Also, you guys don't have to call me friend anymore. You can just call me Ducky for now. Ducky? she asked, tossing it around in her mind. I could tell a part of her wants to give it input, but pushes it away in favor of nodding. I'm sure they're both happy. They don't have to struggle with how to address me. I'm relieved for them. I know it's a lot to ask of them, but it meant something broken inside of me that they accommodate me so. Cute! I thought so too. It's a term of endearment amongst humans. He, he can call me that too if you'd like, then. She says, twirling a strand of hair of her bouncy blonde curls. No, girl, you don't want to get intimate with a human. I heard Rosie's sister's ex-mother dated a human once, and he nearly rolled on top of her. Needy clenches her teeth at the thought. I want him on top of me, but not like that. Instead of disputing it, Violet seems to have eventually come around. If only they could shrink down. Or we grow, she says, striking a pose, flexing her muscles, or rather lack thereof. I watched the two of them. It's always like this. I was lucky to have been taken in by these two sisters in my childhood. In some ways, I felt like I had sisters too. Are you interested in him? Very. No, I mean like intimately. Oh, I mean he's a good-looking gent, I got to admit. But what did you guys what did you guys talk about? Was there flirting? Maybe a little, it's it's all innocent. I'm still not looking for anything quite that substantial right now. I don't think he is either. I I don't know. Sounds like you two are perfect for each other. Non-committal and unconventional. Unconventional? Oh, come now. It's not like humans fairies have ever built a life together. How would you know? You never left Willow's post. And neither have you. For now, but that's exactly why I need to get out of here. It does sound rather interesting, but I get nervous every time, I I so much as think about it. Everything makes you nervous. Well, sorry if I didn't like throwing my life away. She pivots, placing a gentle hand on my shoulder. No offense intended. It's fine. I'm aware of the dangers, but quite frankly, I'm dying alone here, never having seen the world, is a far scarier thought. Having you two leave me to die here, that is? I grumble. Hey, hey! Before we know it, we can hear footsteps approaching before we can even see him. An hour passes that quickly? I didn't get my payment like I said I would. These two are always good at distracting me. Hello again. Hello. They practically coo. Were you able to speak with your friend already? No luck, yet. He's supposed to check in later this evening. Oh. Cheer up now. Only a little longer. I'm sure you need time to gather your things anyhow. And talk with your parents. That was the part I dreaded the most. Just hold on a little longer, I tried to cover myself. Maybe it was just my experience speaking, but anytime something was delayed, it was likely not to happen at all. I don't want to be strung along again. If disappointment was to be had, I'd rather face it now rather than later. So, what were you hunting? Trees? Not hunting. Target practice. And and here I thought you just missed. Gerrit chuckles. I'm not the best shot, I'll admit. I've grown rusty with age. I apologize for stalling you all. Should have picked a better place for practice. It's okay. Violet butts in front of her sister, not done with the interrogation quite yet. Where are you staying? It's within the human town, Lian. I'm staying at a little inn just down the creek, the Goose Down. I believe I hear him say wow under their breath. It seems I won't have to convince them to like him. For all her posturing, Violet isn't one to even acknowledge those she loathes. The two bombard him with a whole plethora of questions. What being what being a monster hunter is like, what music he likes, and even his favorite fruit. It's blackberries. If I may, Violet and Edie, it's been a pleasure speaking with you both, but would you mind if I borrow this one for just a little while? They exchange a look, then catch eyes with me. I'm just as stunned as they are, but I welcome the invitation, giving them a nod, and as soon as I catch a glimpse of his coy expression, I smile, nodding it to him as well. I was hoping we'd have more time to speak. I'll catch up with you both later. Violet eyes him suspiciously, looking between us, then crosses her arms and concedes. Well, we'll be waiting. Take good care of them in the meantime, Hunter. Gerrit bows ever so slightly. They're in good hands. Needy and Violet hold back in an excited shriek as they take flight. I, I watch them for a moment, building up the courage to speak with him again. I'm a little annoyed with myself that I'm growing more self-conscious and shy around him. I want to blame the girls for drawing attention to us in the romantic context. I just needed someone to help me get out of Willow Post. Well, what did you want to talk about? I just wanted to walk you back. It feels wrong of me not to. I smirked, keen on his game. At least I hadn't imagined some of the advances he was making. We could have all walked back. You caught me. You caught me. I wanted to get more alone time with you, that's all. Oh. I'm suddenly possessed the heart of a hummingbird now. I bring my hand to my daisy pendant for a moment. He extends his hand out, and instead of hugging it, I fly on top of it. It's a bold move, but if I wanted to leave, courage needed to be my new friend. And so we began to walk, or rather, he did. As he does, my head begins to cipher through all the things that I want to say, though I'm far more picky about what I choose than Needy or Violet. So you're staying at an inn? I've never been to an inn before. What? I'm sorry. I'm just not used to gorgeous creatures inviting themselves to stay the night with me. I don't recall inviting myself, but it made me wonder. You'd let me stay the night if I asked? There's no end to what I'd let you do. I took flight a little, as I felt my knees grow a little weak at his statements, but I couldn't have him privy to that fact. I'd flirted with quite a few in my time, but never a human, never like this. It was the kind of excitement that got me into trouble. I was all too fond of dangerous things. You should be careful, Gerrit. There there are many who take advantage of that. You're absolutely right. I feel as if I can't let my guard down. With you, though. Can't I? Would you stay with me for tonight? For safety. The line was cheesy. It was plucked straight from some book to teach adolescents how to attract a partner, and yet it still pleased me. You invited me to stay the night with you. I couldn't hide the shock in my voice. Our flirting escalated all of a sudden. Is that? I clear my throat, regaining my footing. I hear our conversation play back in my head. I stop. He does too. He stands. I fly, now eye to eye. Are you attempting to court me? I wouldn't use the term court. I'm not seeking marriage but and by the sound of it, neither are you. I was flattering you, flirting more precisely. I'm very taken by you, if you hadn't noticed. It was working. I was beyond flattered. Perhaps I was simple. There was something so wonderful about a handsome man saying pretty little things. You're awfully forward, quite quick too. Wouldn't wouldn't it have been better to drag this out? I normally agree. I do enjoy building tension, but time is not a luxury I'm afforded right now, little one. I'd hate to miss my chance to spend an evening with you. I'm not ready. You want to kiss me, but You cannot give me an option like that and think I'm not gonna choose the obvious one. You want to kiss me? I'm satisfied by the taken aback expression he makes. I am not sure he hasn't met many like me. I was always one to say what I wanted, lest I miss an opportunity. Thankfully, it doesn't intimidate him. I'd like to kiss you, among other things, but not marry me, which is fair. We've only just met. What I mean is, you said you move around a lot and that you're unmarried. He nods, seemingly pleased that I remembered. That's true. If if I haven't misunderstood, your intentions are purely physical and temporary. You make it sound so sterile. But yes, I am interested in you. Though just not just physically, I'm quite fond of hearing what's on your mind, how you say things. But only temporarily, because you're leaving soon. I think I'll always like listening to you. I'll always find you adorable. But yes, to answer your question, I will be leaving soon. I. You're very handsome, quite possibly the most attractive human man I've ever laid eyes on. I answer equally as honestly. I always appreciated when people said the hard things aloud. Thank you kindly. I do wonder what it would be like to kiss a human. He traces a hand against his lips, doing a very poor job of hiding a smirk. It seems I've flattered him quite a bit if his flushed cheeks are anything to go by. I wonder what intimacy would even be possible between us. We seem like intelligent people. I figured we could experiment and find out. I giggle, bringing my hands to my face, now too bashful to hide it. That sounds enjoyable, but I can't have a temporary partner. That's not what I want. His expression crumples, then he nods, seeming to understand. That's fair. You deserve more than that. As do you. He shakes his head. That's where you're wrong, little duck. He move. He moves on ahead, trying to move past this awkward tension we created. I fear that what we have will dissolve and there will be no coming back. You don't have to stop flirting, though, unless, of course, you want to. I, I like the way it makes me feel. He pivots to face me, a small smile now. I do too, though. Know the more you say such things, the harder it'll be for me to leave. Surely, surely you're used to it by now. He wears an expression that doesn't match any of the ones he's displayed up until now. It seems that like I struck a bit of a nerve, but thankfully he doesn't wear it for long, for forgoing forgoing it in favor of an admittedly forced smile. What would you like to do then? Can I can I still see you're in? My room at the inn? Sure thing. Although I'll have to smuggle you in. I don't think fairies can rent rooms either. But they can certainly be my guest. I followed Gerrit on his way to the inn. It didn't look all that special, at least not on the outside. It looked like any other human cottage I'd seen. However, I couldn't help but be charmed by the prospect of what awaited inside. Not impressed? I want to see inside. Yes, but I'll have to find a way to hide you first. We both spent a few moments mulling over an idea. I looked to Gerrit, my eyes drifting from his pondering expression to his jaw, to his neck, to his exposed chest, and there it hits me. I point to his chest. Gerrit smiles at me, eyebrows lifting it when they knit. Joining the rest of the face, during the rest of his face, had to ask the question, not what, but rather, you like what you see, or rather, are you sure? It was humorous seeing his mind cycle through the possibilities, somehow missing the obvious. Your shirt. I can stay there. Gerrit looks down, folding it a bit in laughter. That's quite the idea. I'd never thought of that. Not even if I were the human and you the fairy. As if on cue, his eyes falls to my chest now, but only for a brief moment. I twinkle a little. I twinkle a little beneath it as he tears his eyes away. I'm I'm not going anywhere. I'm not welcome. He says, his cheeks gloriously pink. Am I welcome? The confusion reappears. I have to point to his chest again, humored he'd forgotten so soon. More than welcome. I fly towards him, his stance stiffening the closer I get, before slipping into his shirt. More more than skin, I feel tufts of wiry hair brushing against the skin of my thighs and back, lifting the back of my dress. He may have gone more than a feel of me than originally intended, but wonderfully he pretends as if he just didn't even notice as I adjust. There. Do you think it'll work? I'm not sure, but I'm willing to give it a try. Perhaps if you sank in a little lower. I gave him a playfully suspicious look before I do so, standing on the belt fastened around his waist. Oh, that is better. Steady now. I don't want to drop you. There's plenty here to hold on to. I say, looking around. He begins to move. It feels sort of like standing on a leaf down the street. On a leaf down a stream. Gerrit opens the door up. The lighting warm. It smells of charred firewood. The sound of soft voices collects in the distance. It didn't feel all too different from the snub bars I I go to with the girls. Though it still managed to keep my attention despite all the attempts at rationality, I had remembered to duck so as to not be spotted. Room 4. I remember. Mr. Howell. In, indeed, I didn't need to share a night. I didn't intend to share a night with him, but that didn't mean I wanted to be aware of his other potential prospects. The clerk, Christine, read her name tag. She was a beautiful girl with orange hair tied into a bun. It accented her face, dotted with freckles. She was cute. Couldn't blame Gerrit for being a little friendly. I swallowed down my wave of unfounded jealousy. Thank you, madam. Okay, mildly founded. Perhaps he speaks so with any and all pretty faces. I guess I could also make peace with the fact that it was I, pressed skin to skin with him, was being snuck into his room. I feel movement and the sound of creaky footsteps before we eventually stop. The click of a door, and we're in. Infiltration success. I'll wait a moment before emerging. We could have used the window if I'd known the room I'd be staying in this time. I guess we also could have used my bag to sneak you in. I I thought using the bag, but I have to admit I took the opportunity to get a feel of you. I teased, the look in his eyes only they darkened a little. You're killing me, little duck. He turns his attention to, well, anything else. Apologies, it isn't all that exciting. I take it all in for a moment. It's huge. This is just one room? Yes, your apartment will be at least 3 times this size if I had to guess. What do you tend to do with all that space anyhow? Breathe. Share a laugh. Honestly, I'm not sure. But I'll figure out something. Why why a human city, if I may ask? Couldn't you just move into another fairy village? You've been to one fairy village. You've seen them all. I want to experience as much as possible. Sparris is the largest city in all of Illyria. When I get a job, I'll be able to go anywhere, do just about anything. I hate to play demon's advocate, but just what kind of job do you intend to get? I hadn't thought that far. I hadn't thought that far. It's easily the most embarrassed I've felt. I'll figure something out. I have to. As I go to say anything else, we're interrupted by a knock. Unlike my encounter with Gerrit, I don't freeze and take shelter beneath the bed. Gerrit bends to check on me. I'll see who it is. Don't worry. What one line from him, and I can feel my heartbeat slow. Yes? Apologies for intruding, sir. I noticed the fairy dust trail leading to this room. That's often the first sign of a pixie infestation. Oh no. I I feel panic begin to settle in as I debate whether I should move or stay put. Yes, it's pixie dust. I'm a member of the Dread Guard. Sometimes we encounter pixies on our travels, and their dust sticks to us. Should come off with a bath. I wouldn't worry about an infestation. The Dread Guard. Well, let me just say, sir, I want to thank you for your contribution. I wanted to join the Guard myself in a few years. I see. So that's why you became a exterminator. Yes, I'm working my way up. I see. He does a poor job of hiding his doubt. It was good to meet you. I'm quite tired from my trip, so if you'll excuse me. Oh, yes, yes, of course. I hope we have more time to speak before you go. Here's hoping. The door shuts a minute later, a little louder than probably necessary. I don't come out immediately, still trying to relax my nerves. Are you okay? He extends a hand for me. I I end up hugging it once again, and he pulls me out from beneath the bed. I, d- I didn't know this hovel would employ an exterminator. If I had known, I'd never brought you here. Was it true what you said with the pixies? I'd never brought harm to any creature that hasn't hurt another. I believe him, even though it's too soon to. If it's okay with you, maybe I should go. I don't want to tell you what to do, but I think you should wait till sundown. There'll be fewer people on the main road. You'll you'll be able to leave a lot more safely. Besides, I'm not quite ready to see you go. I must look like I have the face of a cherry to him. I I nod, understanding. I should be okay until then. I wasn't all that excited to stop speaking with him either. What is it you do for work? I work with my father. We deseed fruit. The se- the seeds are too big for us to eat. We collect them and sell them to humans and bring the fruit back to our community. Well, isn't that just neat? I'm sure I won't be able to carry over that work experience in Sparus. You're smart as a whip. I'm I'm sure you'll find something. It was a feeling beyond satisfaction to have someone else believe in me as much as I did myself. I'm also part of a watering team. Watering team. A team of duets goes out to water plants in drier seasons. I'm sorry, duet? Oh, so most fairies that fall in one of four categories. Duets like myself, we can create water with our magic. Emberlets, fire. Breezelets, air. And leaflets, various plants and earth. I see. There's so much about fairies I didn't know. Is that why you're here? In parts, I also just needed a break. But what about Violet and Needy? Are they duets, or Violet is a leaflet and Needy is a breezelet? Who are you closer out of the two? Violet or Needy? Honestly, both. I can't choose one over the other. Not not who you like, not who you like more. I think we all just gravitate to some people more than others. No Emberlet friends? I don't really get along with them. Maybe because they were like my mother, but I don't say that part. Is it tied to personality? I nod. That's what most fairies believe. I don't know. Sometimes I think I fit closer to the personality of a breezelet. I think you'd be a breezelet. He eyes a- His eyes ask me to keep going. Hmm. Breezlets are social, open, intelligent, maybe a little forgetful, and if you'll excuse the pun, flighty. You think I'm flighty? Well, I wouldn't say it's inaccurate. You do sound like a breezelet, and you remind me of myself in ways. Though I'm not nearly as darling. I didn't want anyone to dictate my path, even if I wasn't sure how I'd get there. I wouldn't let fear dissuade me. I think it's wonderful that you're wonderful. I'm not going to forget meeting you anytime soon. I mouth the thank you, getting a little choked up by the sincerity. Seems the sun is set. Will you let me take you back? You're already doing so much for me. I can do this much. So you'll come see me when you've heard from your friend? Yes, it's a promise. Thank you, Gerrit. Until we meet again. I'll be counting down the minutes. I chuckle, rolling my eyes a little. He opens the window for me, and I make sure to inspect my surroundings before I take off. When I get back to Willow Post, I spot Violet and Needy fluttering about. As soon as they see me, the two fly over, making a beeline for me, nearly pulling me into the nearest corner when they reach me. What happened? You've got to tell us. What did he say when we left? Well, he offered to walk me home, and then we decided to go to his room at the inn. What? Needy cups a hand over her sister's mouth. You. Did you? She asks equally as loud as her sister, who's prying her arm down and biting at her hand now. Did I? What? You know, the birds and bees and all that? Oh, no, we didn't. Would you though? Needy? What? I'm just asking. Wow, that's a bit of a loaded question, ain't it? um, my God, do I play into Needy's fantasy over here? I don't know. But I think that'd be a good spot to leave this video here for now. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment what you think, share this video with your friends, and be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss a single notification. I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye.